Welcome, everyone, to Walking After Whiskey with Trevor and Travis. I'm Trav.
I'm Trev, of course.
We're going to break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down a fine bottle of whiskey night called Mickner's.
18 is a nice ride. We'll have a good time. The episode we're breaking down tonight is a season opener for the midway season. It's season 9 entitled Honor.
Episode 9. Season 8, episode 9 entitled Honor. Come in or come on, Trav.
Let's get to the review, baby.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. What we have for you tonight is a Mitcher small batch bourbon whiskey. It is solid. It can be found at a good price. It is very enjoyable, especially neat. But if you're a person who likes your whiskey over ice, I suggest you choose a different mixtures. They say this whiskey has been kicking back the red coat tails across 13 colonies, even before George Washington's days. And another fun fact, this is a whiskey that warmed the American hearts during the revolutions. Now that's big shoes to fill. Hope you enjoy the show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's some good whiskey right there.
That ain't bad. I'm going to kick that out of bed.
No, not even for eating crackers.
So coming back to after the mid-season, we noticed that Carl got bitten on the side by a zombie. After a lot of hype, we did find out that he's actually going to perish.
He was actually bit. We first thought that maybe a zombie bit him with dentures and they weren't even going to take him out of the show. But this time, yes, he's bit. And my unfavorite character on the show is finally his little snarling face is going to be off that shit. But they really made it sad for me this time. Yeah. They go to Carl's flashbacks, him writing all the letters to Judith, Michonne, Rick. I think everybody ever knew he had a stack about like that.
Yeah.
And you see his little flashback of after he got bit, what he did.
Yeah, it was very sad. After a lot of controversy with Scott Gimble and the way he's actually running the show now, after the exit of Kirkman, who actually wrote the whole show and the comic book, there was a lot of speculation on what was actually going on. We thought maybe it was whispers. We thought maybe it was just a clever ploy to keep you watching the show. But no, Carl is dying.
Now, in the comic books right now, he's not gone, right?
No, he's such an integral part of the show right now. I mean, I'm sorry, in the comic book, he's a badass. He's with a gun. He's a big leader. He's everything he's not in the show.
And he was all this in the last episode. He really helped save the whole place, save everybody there. He brought in a new person. And he was really a badass for this last episode. Actually, started to kind of like him a little bit.
So the beginning of the episode started like the beginning of the whole season. We see these 3 flashbacks. Two flashbacks. One's of what's happening now. One is of crazy red-eyed Rick, and one is of a utopian future. So you can tell by a dream sequence.
Yeah, it's a little dream sequence. You see it all foggy. You see Rick walk up with a gray beard, and you see Jerry there. You see Judith. It's another little actress girl. This little beautiful girl. Runs up, says, Jerry! He says he came there for some kind of pie they made. He said, you came all the way from the kingdom for some pie? He says, oh, hell yeah. And he says, Zinc, whatever his name is, I can't argue with it.
Yeah, so we start to see in this episode what those 3 utopians meant, or those 3 dream sequences meant. The first one, the red-eyed Rick, is him now knowing his son's dying. The second dream sequence is actually what Carl's envision of the future would be had everything worked out perfectly for everybody, which we all know it didn't.
Yeah, and I think they spent the longest time on Carl for dying because he's been there the longest since the first episode, which makes total sense. It was a little boring. Could have seen some more action. This was a no Negan episode until we'll tell you later. But the second thing you see is Gavin and the King talk. And
Gavin's the guy that Negan has used to get all the things from the kingdom. He does all the brokerage of the deals from the kingdom. Their pigs, their vegetables, their fruit, all comes through Gavin's crew.
That's the same pigs they fed
all the zombies.
Zombies to and stuff, which was fucking great. But Gavin's sitting there and he's telling the king, you know you're gonna die tonight. You know Negan's gonna kill you, and the king ain't even phased. He's accepted that he saved his people by going through that door and locking it, right?
Yep.
And then he's like, I've made my decision and I can live with it. Have you made yours? You can still walk away from a decision that you've already made.
And Gavin's even expressed how much he hates what Negan does, how it comes from the bat. You know, how he has to kill people. He liked dealing with Ezekiel. He liked dealing with the kingdom. He actually was upset as his own man that he killed the kid and made Morgan get all freaked out.
Yeah.
He expressed not only like gratitude, but obviously, you know, solitude, how sad he was that this relationship was now going away and he had to kill the king when he gets back.
And King says something to him. He says something to him that's real. What did he say? Did I already cover that?
Just says something like it's never too late to
Never too late to walk away from a decision you've already made, which I've already said.
Yeah.
But then, the next thing.
So
A
then
little off topic here. This whiskey's got me going.
So then we go back. What kind of freaked me out though was the timeline. Okay, we see Morgan. He's definitely at the sanctuary, and he's out there, and he's actually calling back to everyone on walkie-talkie, saying they're making a barrier. They're getting out of the walls, and so he has perfect line of sight of a lot of Negan's men. Chooses not to
Didn't
shoot.
fire one shot.
Yeah, they break out and they all start firing at him.
Yeah, they all of a sudden know exactly where he is, and he's telling everybody. I don't even know who he's telling because I really didn't see anybody else there with him.
Right.
I think people came there with him and possibly ran off when they heard the shots or something like
Yes.
that. But Morgan starts running down, and then it goes into Morgan getting back to the kingdom, and they start saving the shit out of the kingdom with Morgan and Carol's sweep of the kingdom.
Yeah, they're very surgically taking out everyone's sniper points here. People they're basically sacking the kingdom. They're taking all the way they call it raping and pillaging. They're taking all of the assets the kingdom has to offer because to them the kingdom is dead to them.
Yeah.
And they're taking all of the bullets, all the vegetables, all the fruit. And Morgan's going around one by one with Carol, picking them off 2 by 2, 3 by 3,
Oh, 3 by 3, 2 by 2, and even at one point he's walking into a house and Carol's like, come on, let's just go in here, and he hears somebody on the side, sneaks around and says, no. And Morgan almost turns into the clearing guy again.
Yes, he is. He does.
says, fucking clear. He's like, no. And he stabs him like in the throat
Two
or
guys.
something, right?
Yeah.
They're down. And he's like, no. And it's like, I don't know how that stick that's sharpened could go through somebody's head that quick unless they're
I
a
can show you
zombie.
later. I can show you
Okay,
later.
all right.
It
Sounds
happens.
good. Sounds good.
And then it all finalized to a huge head in the theater where Carol first met Ezekiel. Yeah, I mean, there's a prisoner, there's 5 guys in there gunning. After a huge exchange, one person that's left is Gavin, the king, Carol, and Morgan.
One person that's left is the guy that got shot in the stomach. He comes after Morgan when Morgan thinks he's already dead,
Yes.
and he's on top of him.
Oh.
They're fighting. Morgan says, bam, reaches right into his bullet wound, fucking grabs at his fucking guts, man.
His entrails,
Grabs
and pulls
right
them
out
out.
his intestines, man, and pulls him right out. And the dude's like,
Yeah, you didn't do nothing after that. You're done, son.
That was the best kill ever. And Morgan's looking for one more kill of the night, and it's Gavin.
Yeah. And so after that, Gavin pleads for his life, and Ezekiel's already telling me, we're not going to kill him, we're not going to kill him. Morgan says, no, we kill everybody. And before Morgan can get the final kill on him, what's his name?
The little kid, don't remember his name, let's call him Gizmo.
Gizmo.
He comes right from behind and says, sticks him right in the neck. But right before Carol was telling Morgan not to kill him, Carl was also telling his dad and Michonne that shit's got to change. Shit's got to change, and we can't just kill everybody. It's not meant to be this way.
They're both on the same project
Same
line,
non-killing
timeline,
page.
which is there has to be something afterwards. Like we can't kill everyone because once it's all done, there has to be something after, and that's what Carol and Carl both actually have always agreed on, and now that's kind of like came to fruition in these two different
And
things.
through all this, through and through that we're talking about here, you see about 2 or 3 flash forwards of Michonne and Rick digging Carl's grave.
Yeah, and so
And which is real sad. It's like, oh my God, they're thinking about what they're going to have to do, this and that. And Carl has a real heart-to-heart and says, hey, I don't want you guys to be angry or sad about my death. And then he grabs his dad's gun or Michonne's gun with a silencer on it out of him, and he says, this is how it's got to be. You guys don't deserve to. You guys don't deserve to go through killing me because I know you can't handle it. Pretty much, in so many different words.
And so even before all that happens, before Rick and Michonne take Carl off to his final resting place, Judith and Dale and everyone have their last goodbyes to Carl. And the man that Carl risked his life to save was there and said he was going to honor Carl, honor him everything that he does.
His name is Zeke something.
I forget.
He's
He's an Indian man. But what we find out is the man's actually a doctor. So it's actually this can actually give more life to everyone else.
He said, I'm going to honor your name, Carl, and basically honor Carl's name is being a doctor for these people, because I don't think they have a doctor anymore.
Yeah, and Carl said, you're stuck with us. So it makes sense, that Carl didn't give his life for nothing. It had to mean something. Carl gave his life for a doctor, and that doctor's going to save a lot of people in Hilltop and Alexandria and everywhere else.
And the last little dream sequence we see in there is my favorite part, because you don't know what the hell it means.
Yeah.
Judith walks up and you see the guy in the same flannel as Rick. She says, hey, and he says, oh, hey, sweetheart, and it's motherfucking Negan.
Yeah, but before things are all said and done in the comic books, I mean, obviously it's way far past the show. Negan has kind of in the fold of everybody now. He doesn't have free range of shit. He's still kind of a prisoner.
Remember how much Negan wanted a family for a sec, right? Eating that spaghetti.
So Carl likes Negan. He does like Negan. He understands about killing people for what they've done. I don't think Carl wants Negan to die. He never really has. They kind of see on a different level of just a different plane of acknowledgement.
Obviously, he wants him to change, right?
And so, but this utopian future of seeing Negan there in the garden just shows not only is there good in everybody, but when this is all over, there has to be something after this is all done. And This is Carl's dream when I think this is Carl like dying, passing away, is saying, when this is all done, I hope everybody can just come together and make a better
tulips
whole.
on Rick's dick. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Rick wants.
Well, that's
he wants to take over.
Fucking good review, buddy.
Right on, man.
Well, but before I take my shot, I want to give a shout out to Junction Brewery.
Junction Brewery right here. This place is fucking awesome. It's in American Canyon, close to where everybody lives around this area, of course.
Yeah. So me and Trevor, we grew up in American Canyon, which is right here between Napa, California and Vallejo, California. Yee. We want you to know that they have a lot of good beers on tap here, very hoppy beers like I like. They have a good selection of just local beers from Fairfield, Evil Cousin, Heretic Brewery, also from Petaluma, Lagunitas. They're a good junction for other beers to be here, and their own beers are young, but they're getting really good.
Little history on this bar and how it's grown. It used to be a sushi bar. Then it used to be like Mark's Bistros. They did not have their liquor license. This place went ahead, took all the time to get their liquor license, right? And now they actually have a brewery, which is right behind this camera here, where you can watch people make the beer that they serve here.
And before all that, this used to be just a dirt parking lot. Right first jump, my first fucking trash can. That's all I got to say that on a BMX bike. I might have broke my arm, I might have not. Who knows? But I did jump 2 trash cans.
Hell yeah.
Well, here's the Junction Brewery.
Junction
JBG.
Brewery, baby, all the way.
Thank you for all your support. Everyone, good review.
Well, look what we got here tonight, folks. We got the Flaviar. It is a club member special to where they send you nice little tasters monthly for a monthly fee. But what we're going to be talking about is A, whiskey, can't go wrong. B, whiskey, can never go wrong with that again. And then you got a scotch for C. To tell you a little bit about it on the history, back in the days when George Washington was the first U.S. president and Kentucky state only, but 4 years old, Basil Hayden was hard at work, experimenting with the inner works of bourbon. They say you could take the boy out of Maryland, but not the Maryland out of the boy. I like that saying.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Walking After Whiskey.
Smooth hour.
Tonight is the whiskey review. And what we're going to be reviewing, ladies and gentlemen, is a Michter's small batch straight rye whiskey, baby. You can't go wrong with this. My name is Victor.
You would think an average folk like this could say Michter's. Travis, good to meet you guys. First time ever, I'm sure.
It's the Michter's talking. I can't pronounce it. I can barely fucking pass my ABCs.
It's been a long night, bro. It's been a long night at Junction Brewery. It's been a long night.
So what I like to do in a review is also to give it a little sniff before we drink, and then I sip, and then we shoot it. So tonight, let's give it a little sniff, huh? All right, I know what I smell. What do you smell?
I know what I smell. Rye whiskey is always very spicy to me. Bourbons are sweet, more of my thing. Ryes, I'm getting a better taste for, but they're spicy, right?
Yes, very spicy. But I think to balance everything out with that spice is they add a nice little vanilla to it.
Yeah.
Do you smell the vanilla?
Yeah, it's like eating out a Columbia woman's vagina with the vanilla wafer on top.
Without the chapstick. So let's give this a little sip.
Hey, everybody.
Wow.
Hi, Darcy. So we're recording a show, but that's awesome.
Good times. Say hi to the camera.
Say hi, Darcy. Right there.
Fuck us, right?
So back to
So
the review.
what do you think about the little sippage of this Michter's, man?
I love Michter's, man. Like I said, it's more of an Irish whiskey, but it's a rye. So it's Irish people putting their spin on rye bourbons. I love it. I'm not a huge rye fan. I'm getting to be there. That's the natural progression of my palate because I love bourbons.
Right.
But the spices there open your nose up, it burns a little bit. I love it. Especially if you have like me that drinks with a Coke back and drinks it straight. Perfect. I mix it with nothing.
Yeah.
I don't like Sprites. I like it just straight up.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people prefer to throw a little ice cube in these, but with these, my research and my personal preference is fucking ice cube. What I like to do is drink this straight up because if you're gonna use an ice cube, I suggest you use a different type of mixtures. Just to the fact of how delicate this is. Like you could taste all the flavors. You wouldn't want an ice cube to ruin this type of drink.
Absolutely.
Like
it's way too expensive for that too. It's like 14 years age.
You want to hit all aspects. You want to get the spice, the flavor, and the aftertaste. The smoothness of every single sip that you're taking in this.
Absolutely.
So, but how would you honestly like to drink this? If you don't want to do it straight up, if you don't want to do it without a Coke, how would you do it? With anything else?
Like I said, with both my brewers, I do them all straight. I usually do a 2-finger pour, which is 2-ounce pour with a Coke back. Honestly, this is kind of like I would grab a book of Game of Thrones, sit down, maybe Dance with Dragons, sit down and have this by a nice fire. That's how I drink my whiskey. And ryes are like that. Ryes meant to be respected. If you mix ryes with Coke, fuck you. Like this is meant to be savored and enjoyed. And when your palate progresses to ryes, then basically you drink them straight. That's how you do them. That's the only way I would do a rye.
Goddamn right. Now, with my past, I've actually worked with this type of whiskey before. The last bar I worked at, a good friend of mine named Casey Higgins actually taught me how to make an old fashioned with this specific bourbon whiskey right here.
I hate that. I hate mixing it with the rum with the cherry. I hate
but
that.
if you're gonna do any type of mixture with this, with the mixtures,
yeah.
am I saying that shit right?
Mixture with the mixtures?
Mixture with the mixtures?
Aye.
It's gonna be an old fashioned for me because I fucking love it. That guy Casey Higgins, you can find him at Silos.
Yeah.
Catch him there and he'll fucking whip you up a good old fashioned. He taught me. You guys meet me in the streets, but you're gonna find him in a sophisticated area in Napa. He'll make you a good one with this shit right here, if they got it.
If you're gonna blend a whiskey, like literally like an old fashioned, it's really just that. It's really the way that old fashioned tasting of bourbon went through, and old fashioned tasting of rye went through. Like it's just a little bit of cherry. Like it's what it is. You know what I mean? And honestly, if you're interested in old fashioned, there's no better way to do it than rye whiskey. So obviously, this would be an amazing way to make an old fashioned.
So let's shoot this motherfucker back and see what type of different taste we can get off of just straightening it up. Huh? And you can do it that way as well. You feel that? See the fall?
No, I don't have an underbite, so my job is fine.
So you could actually eat a salami sandwich without taking out the meat?
Yeah, duh. The pepperoncinis too. Thank you all for watching the review.
Yes.
Have a good time. Thanks for watching our show.